friends got quite the surprise when both had news of their wives. My baby is due the same time as you. How the do we keep them alive? This is Dude, We're Dads.
So me and Grace, we were, I guess, quote unquote, trying.
Yeah.
And Grace told me it was going to take months because her sister had been trying for, I guess, years. Like they had tried for over a year. I don't know the specifics, but like they were trying for a
that's
long.
That's how it was with us.
Yeah, they were trying for a long time, and so I didn't really understand the process behind it. Obviously, they follow their menstrual cycles and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and I have
no
idea. Yeah, no idea. And And so Grace was like, we have to start trying now if we want to have kids in the next 2 years.
Yeah, if we start now, 2 years out, we'll be having a baby.
Like, because I don't want to be 29 and having kids. I want to be 28, like you said. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We'll start trying.
You want to be able to jump on the tramp without injuring your back.
And so, whatever, we followed her cycle. Let's just say things happen. And then I came back from Knoxville because I went to come visit family when I was out in Tucson. And then she obviously gives me the full, I'm not going to go into it, but she told me, and we'll go into like how she told me and stuff.
Okay, so between, hey, we need to start trying now, to, hey, I have a baby inside me.
Yeah, first try.
When was, like...
That was the first try. We didn't even have, it wasn't like multiple tries. It was one try.
That's amazing.
And so I was like, okay, but we'll give you more backstory once we get through yours. But I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I think
first try is pretty wild. Like, I don't know how it is for most people, but I feel like it takes a little longer than that. Yeah, with us, I think we were trying for at least a year or two. But yeah, it was a long period, and so like I know we were trying long enough where we reached the point where maybe we can't have kids. Like we started having that feeling, and so she'd been trying to tell me that she was pregnant for like a week or two before she actually did. So I was chilling on the bed, probably watching YouTube, as I do. And she's in the bathroom. She takes the test because she's like feeling a little pukey that day. Something's off. So she's like, I'm just going to check. And she like makes a noise. And I'm like, are you okay in there? Is everything going all right? And we'd been like arguing forever. And so like, she was like, if I tell him now, he's going to feel like a because he's been a the whole night. And so she decided to hold off. And I think we have a pretty good relationship, but the next 2 weeks like consisted of every reason not to tell me that we're about to bring a child into the world. It's just thing after thing. I'm being a over and over again. And so there's a day where I get off of work a little early. I'm like, all right, before I go home, I'm going to go see a movie. It's going to be great. And so she starts calling me like frantically and I'm freaking out. And then when I call her back, I can't get a hold of her. And so I have her location on my phone because I worry about her driving. And I see that she's at my work. And so immediately I'm like, somebody died. Like she's at my work to tell me that somebody died. And so I call her and I'm shaking. And I'm like, who died? And she's like, everybody's fine. It's fine. Where are you? And I'm like, I'm at a movie. So I meet up with her at my office. And as I'm driving there, I'm just thinking like, what is wrong? Like if somebody died, she isn't going to tell me over the phone. So like, what's happened? If somebody didn't die, who's in the hospital? I don't know. I'm freaking out. I'm paranoid. And so as I'm driving there, I'm like, what could this be? So I pull up. She gets out of the car. She's pissed because like she's been waiting 2 weeks at this point to tell me. And I look at her and like just like Neanderthal like little wheels turning in my head just click in place. And I point at my stomach and I'm like, you? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, are you and she's like, you. Because she was so excited. She's been waiting so long. And so I find out that she'd built this elaborate little treasure hunt to like tell me, to reveal of like all of our early dates and all that. And so she'd put in all this effort, and she was just so angry because like she'd been trying so hard, and I just kept it up. So I hugged her. I started crying. I started bawling. I'm like, oh, be a oh, because we've been trying forever. But then we did the treasure hunt or whatever together, and I think that was the way to go. I think I would have figured it out like 20 seconds in, and then I would have just been in the hot sun by myself driving around, you know. So yeah, we found it out. We found the final thing, and at that point she was in a better mood. But yeah, I was very embarrassed how I navigated all that, because like at every point I ruined it for her. You know, every opportunity to reveal, I just kept messing it up. But yeah, it's like, fine.
Whenever my review, whenever I was, obviously you know me, into the gym, dieting. I'm like a fanatic.
You're a gym bro.
Yeah, sure. And so my diet is very consistent, and Grace knows my diet very well.
Yeah.
I eat the same things: eggs in the morning, have
chicken and rice,
2 meals a day in the afternoon, and then I come home, and every time I come home, I have yogurt with protein or whatever. Yeah. And then whatever other snacks that she makes or whatever dinner she makes. And so I came home from work one day, and again, this is like right when I got back from my trip. And she's like sitting there, and she's like kind of acting weird. And she was like, hey, grab the yogurt out of the fridge. And I was just like, what? And she was like,
I'm hungry.
She's like, grab the yogurt. And I was like, okay. And so I opened the door, and I see it, and I'm like, oh. I literally looked at her, and I was like, oh, we're fucked.
That was like, was it a week between, hey, we should do this? And
no, because
that's not how pregnancy works.
No, not at all.
It takes a minute. Yeah.
So we tried, obviously, or we didn't try. It happened. Yeah. But so that was, I came back from Knoxville, or I came back, flew back from Knoxville. That had to be what, 3 weeks later? Something
Maybe.
Like that.
I think something that we should acknowledge right now is nothing we say in this ever is advice.
Yeah, this is not advice.
We don't know what the we're talking about.
Not at all.
Yeah. Sorry.
But that's the beauty of it. But yeah, she told me, and I looked at her. I obviously gave her a big hug, and I'm super excited. But I was just like, you know how like the emotions kind of go through your head. Yeah. I didn't cry, but I was getting super excited. Yeah. And I just kept looking at her. I was like, oh my gosh, we're and then start calling parents and stuff, and we were gonna wait to go to the first ultrasound, which I think we did.
How'd the parents react?
I think we waited till our first ultrasound. Yeah. Because we're in Tucson, so like we don't have to go see them. It's not like we're trying to hide something from them. Yeah, yeah. They have no idea what the hell's going on. Yeah. So we did wait till our first ultrasound, and then
to tell them.
Yeah, to tell them. Or actually, no. Scratch that. We did not wait. We had a pregnancy test, and I was like, we should wait until we get it, and she was like, yeah, we should wait.
3 seconds later.
And then she was like, but what if we told them?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's FaceTime them together. And so we FaceTimed them one by one. Like,
oh, not couple by couple.
Yeah. Well, what I did was, so I FaceTimed my parents, and I was just like, hey, Mom. And she was like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, I think we're going to have to move back to Knoxville. Oh, she was like, why? What's going on? Something wrong with work? Or what's going on? Yeah. And I was like, no, it's just like, we really miss you guys. Grace is pregnant, and I just think that, and she was like, what? And like, so we did, yeah, but we did that to every single person. They were like, oh my God. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was exciting. But like the fact that Grace gets to come home and like be around family, that's what she wanted. Yeah. And so at first when we were quote unquote trying, I was like, I don't want to move back to Knoxville. Like I want to stay in Tucson for at least 2 years. And I kept telling her like 2 years, yeah. At least 2 years. And then we can do whatever she wants to do. And then as soon as she said she's pregnant, I'm like, yeah, we're moving back to Knoxville. Like that was hands down. Like there's no reason for us to stay 1,800 miles away from the country. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, we're going to go there. I had to stay for a year. So that was like my quote unquote contract. But as soon as that year hit, we found out, I was like, hey, went to my boss, hey, we're moving back. Like I'm not staying here in Tucson. Now looking back, after Grace has gone through this, at first I was like, we could make it work. But as we've gotten this far, like I'm sure you know, There is no way we could do that without family.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do that, especially like the notion of being a single parent. That.
Yeah.
You know, like 2 people, it's still tough. But yeah, like I don't know what I'd do without being around the parents.
I just feel as though when you aren't pregnant yet, but you're saying you're trying or you want to have a baby, you're like, all these plans in your head get completely thrown out the window.
Yeah.
The wife, whatever she wants goes. So like she was like, I want to move home too. And so I was like, yeah, we're going back.
Yeah. The wife gets what she wants thing is very real during a pregnancy, because like even like it's like I need my shoes and I'm like, I don't want to get up. Like, you're right there. And she's like, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. It works every time.
It does. But that's the thing though. I've noticed this is everyday tasks. If she asks for something at this point, it's just like, I just do it.
Yeah.
Because I know.
I'm not there yet. I'm still a total I'm like, why do I have to do it? And she's like, because I'm growing your child. I'm like, okay. I can do it.
But I just know, because obviously like growing pains.
Yeah.
Because they're legit growing a child
They're
inside of them.
getting a little big.
Which again, I have no experience with. I went to that class and it was like, okay, mind switch.
Yeah.
But they just seeing the process, like especially living it. Like obviously when she first got pregnant, she's like, look at my bump. There was no bump there. She's like, look at my bump. And I'm like, okay. Then month 2, you see a little bump.
You start seeing it a little.
But now it feels like a week went by and she's already where she's at now.
Yeah. It was like there's kind of a bump, and now it's like, how could there be any more bumps? You know, like there's still 5 weeks?
Yeah.
5 or 6 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yeah. So I think that's a good time. I'll start you out. You texted the group chat of some buddies, and you posted a picture of an ultrasound. And what?
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell it.
Yeah.
So we found out. We found out. We knew, but I waited till we got the ultrasound picture to tell. Obviously, anybody outside of family and close, not even close friends. I think we just told her sisters and her parents.
I'm pulling it up while you do this.
And so we left the ultrasound or the place where we got our ultrasounds done. And the first thing I did obviously was text you guys. And I was just like, I think I just sent a picture of the ultrasound. I don't even think I said anything.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I did.
I'll tell you what you said. So you posted a picture of the little tiny thing.
I said Bob Jr. or something like that.
No, you said my seed. And then our other buddy said, I can see the feet already. You must have big feet. And then you said, if you zoom in, you can see the heartbeat, which was totally crazy for the first time. Like everything else was still, and then you just see that little thing just pumping.
Oh my God.
That's a wild moment.
I kid you not. I'll finish that story, but as soon as they sent us that video, so Grace, she got in her car, went back to work.
Yeah.
And so, but we obviously went together. And so I had to go back to work too. But I kid you not, I sat in the parking lot just sitting there watching that video of the heartbeat. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's wild.
Because it becomes real. It's like a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there have been levels of the, like, this is a real thing that's my baby thing. Like, there's seeing the heartbeat for the first time. The 3D ultrasound was pretty crazy because, like, you start seeing,
Shapes.
Those are parts of me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's got my nose.
Yeah.
But, like, the kicking for me has been the most wild thing because like he's right here and there's this little wall and like we can just knock back and forth. That's weird. But so you guys are talking and then I text a picture of my ultrasound.
Hang on.
Yeah?
Before you texted that picture, you texted me on the side and you said no, I think you called me and you said, how many weeks is she? And I was like, 8. And you were like, shut the up. And I was like, what? And you're like, 8 weeks pregnant too. Yeah. And I was like, what the hell? And you were like, what's her due date? And I was like, March 19th. He goes, so it.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, what the hell? And that's why I say everything happens for a reason. We tried. You guys tried for months.
A year or two.
And I tried. And obviously, like when I say things happen for a reason,
Yeah.
we tried one time. Our due dates are the exact same. That means,
Yeah.
not to be too graphic, we conceived at the same time.
Right. No, that's exactly what
And
happened.
on top of that, like, obviously I was meant to move back to Knoxville for whatever reason. And so like all these things started clicking again. Friendships, I wouldn't say reunited, but like now we're closer.
Oh yeah, I mean like
We're going to the same, we're
hang out
delivering at
here
the
and
same
there.
hospital.
Yeah, and I mean we've been friends for. Did we meet when we were 10?
So it was 5th grade.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
all
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying is like we've known each other for coming on almost 2 decades, and
Yeah.
just the fact that our kids are basically going to arrive at the exact same time.
Yeah, it's weird.
Pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah. But you texted, so then, yeah, Remy was going back, and our buddy Remy was going back and forth with us. And I think you called me when he was texting back and forth, but then you sent yours, and it was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's just surreal. It's cool. That's why this podcast is cool, is because we get to share the experience together.
Do you think if like you posted that you're pregnant and then like 6 months later I'm like, me too, I don't even think we'd be doing it. I feel like the fact that it's like exact same time is like we have to document this.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, it's wild to think about that. Like, what are the like legitimately? What are the odds?
Yeah,
Like that is
it's
like
it's freaking
that's
low,
insane.
yo.
Jamie,
Same
look that
day.
up.
Pull that up.
But yeah,
I want to talk about the history of Andy and Austin. So was it 10? Were we 10 years old?
whatever 5th grade is, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, that's
what I know is I lived in New York, and at 10 years old, my family moved to Tennessee, and then at some point, I met you. Do you actually remember like us interacting? Because I remember what you've told me.
So what I remember is 5th grade. I think you had all these magic tricks. Legit. No, you had, it was a specific one. It was the one where you put
Was it the coin trick?
No. It was the one where you put the card through. It was it's like the plastic piece, and you put the hole through the card.
Yeah, the pen through the card.
Yeah, and then you can, no, not the pin. There was a plastic piece like this big. There's a square.
I don't remember.
And you put the
one.
pencil through it. And then when you pull the pencil out, that piece of plastic slides. And so it looks like there's no hole in it. And so you brought that to school, and I was like, holy shit.
This guy's a wizard.
And I was like, holy shit. And so,
I need to be friends with this guy.
Well, we and you started a conversation of some sort.
Yeah.
And then we had there was a Lego contest, or we were doing a presentation for like something in our school. We had to make a video.
Yeah.
And
like a stop motion?
Yeah,
Lego
you did it with, I can't remember his name.
Ishmael.
Sure.
Ishmael, yes, it was Ishmael. I remember this.
So whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And then me and some other kid, I can't remember I don't know. I think it was some dude named Jordan.
Yeah.
We also made one, but your guys' was like 10 times faster.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, what the hell? But I don't know. We had conversations back and forth, and then I can't remember what happened in between. I think your mom came to see you at lunch with Brinley when she was a baby.
She still does.
And so I think she said, oh, you guys, you should come over.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And you were like, okay. And so I came, you guys live super close to us, like 3 neighborhoods down.
Yeah, it was walkable.
And so I was like, I'll bring over all my magic tricks.
Oh, yeah.
And so I brought a plastic bag.
You had tricks.
Yeah, I brought a plastic bag because you were the one who
I don't
showed
remember you having magic tricks.
Yeah, so I brought a plastic, because ever since like when we were in school and stuff, you told me about Eddie's trick shop.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
And so I had a bunch of stuff, and then I brought it was like a
trick shop.
Walmart bag filled with magic tricks.
Oh, yeah.
And then I came to your place, and we came upstairs, and there was like 100. It was like you had them stacked side by side with each other all across your table, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we met.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was pretty into the magic. Like, I did a few birthday parties. I really regret
Talent
that.
show.
The talent show is one of my core traumatizing memories because I f***ed up really bad.
I don't think you did.
No, I did. I ran out and I left the school.
Oh, I don't remember.
And that was like middle school. You're not allowed to leave the school in the middle of the day. I was crying and all that f***ed up. It's fine. But yeah, so 5th grade. God, do I have to ask Siri how old? How old are you in 5th grade in the U.S.?
I think it's 10. 10 or 11.
She said, I'm as spry as a slice of young ginger. So there's that. Yeah, like pretty much as soon as I moved here. So yeah, we've known each other forever.
And then from then it was inseparable.
And now we're homies. But then like we were friends through
Middle school,
high school, and then
college was kind of. I feel like college is when me and you kind of like we didn't part ways. But
I feel like we did. I was in Chattanooga.
We didn't. Yeah, but we didn't part ways though. We still hung. We were doing our own thing.
Yeah,
but we were.
Yeah, it was just more sporadic.
Yeah.
But then I feel like the past few years, very minimal. No.
It's minimal, but that's because we're going through life.
Yeah. Well, you lived in Tucson.
Yeah, Tucson.
Yeah, I can't forget that. So, yeah, it's cool, like.
But I think that's how people grow up. That's how I think all friend groups are.
Yeah. Yeah, but most of them don't last.
Yeah, but you're not staying the night at my place. It's not that you can't. It's that we just don't do that. You know?
Right.
Because we
noted.
We're going through life, like finding a job.
Yeah.
Going to school, whatever the case is. Going to school, and I feel like everyone kind of takes their own course. But we've always stayed in contact very closely. I always get a random phone call. Hey,
Let's
Andy,
make a video.
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm driving home from work. Yeah, I just hit a deer.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
I was like, dude, why are you calling me?
Everyone was so confused why. Like, anytime road happens, I never freak out. I don't know why. I'm very cool in that way.
But, yeah, I mean, we've known each other for a long time. And, again, circling back, that's why it's so wild. Because it's not like it was some coworker that we have the same due date.
Yeah.
It's like me and you have known each other for almost 20 years, if not more than 20 years. Or not 20. I don't know. However long.
I think it's 16 or 17 years.
Like knowing somebody for that long and being that, I mean, who knows? We could have legitimately on the same date, which that's freaky.
Yeah.
If it's the exact same date.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just mind blowing to me.
You want to talk about meeting our significant others?
I mean, we can. Mine's pretty simple.
Say it.
I met Grace through Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is...
It works.
I met her
Sometimes
through Tinder.
It works.
But I saw her at Starbucks when I was working there.
Okay.
Before I saw her on Tinder.
Yeah.
And so whenever she came through the line, I was like, oh, obviously she's beautiful, whatever. And then fast forward, however, I don't know if it was weeks. I don't know if it was months. But then we matched on Tinder.
Yeah.
I messaged her. She didn't message me back. So I messaged her again. And then she messaged me back. And then we struck up conversation and stuff. And then took her on a date to Walmart. And Sonic.
Yeah.
And then...
What'd you do at Walmart?
I was getting... what's that stuff called? The sun-in for your hair.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I went through a weird phase.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
I never knew you did it. Oh, yours turned out like reddish.
Yeah, reddish. But
yeah.
Anyway, I mean,
coming back now.
We just kept hanging out, and then she became a part of like the friend group, obviously. Yeah. And so, yeah, we were meant to be.
How long have you been together?
2016, almost 10 years. I think it was end of 2015. No, it was probably, we met in, I don't know, it's 2016.
Yeah.
Year, so almost 10 years.
Yeah. She tells me that I asked her out way sooner than I thought I did. Like, there's our first date, and then there's like a year prior, and apparently like I asked her to go to a dance or something, and I don't recall that. But yeah, we had a newspaper class together, and she was very quiet, which says a lot coming from me because I'm kind of an introvert. And she had a good work ethic and super hot, super gorgeous. And yeah, just at a certain point, I'm like, I need to get to know her more and all that. And so we went to a sushi place and we went ice skating, which I think in hindsight is like a very effective first date for somebody who can't ice skate, because it kind of makes them rely on you. And it's like, oh man, this guy's really helpful, because, so good move on my part. And then, yeah, it's been, dear God, 12, 13. It's been 11 years, I think, since our first date, which is wild. Oh my gosh. Yeah. One person that long. Yeah.
And now look at you.
Now look at us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy how fast time goes, especially when, I don't know.
I hate it.
Well, me and you met our now wives when we were pretty young.
Yeah, I was 16, I think.
Yeah, because I was
maybe
18.
even 15.
And what's crazy is like Tinder back then, like how whenever I was using, people were like not judged for it, but it wasn't like a serious thing.
Yeah.
And now, like, we got obviously married, and so now people are on it all the time. And
Yeah.
it's like a normalized thing.
Oh, is it
And
still a thing? I figured it would be replaced by.
There's something else. I don't know. There's multiple dating apps.
Is it
now.
Bumble? Or is Bumble
I don't know.
the gay dudes?
No, that's Grinder.
Yeah.
But that's why it's like
Bumble.
It's crazy though how now it's like a normalized thing, and before I was not judged for it, but like everyone would like
everybody Tinders now.
Like,
son.
oh, you met off Tinder? It's like, what the who cares?
Yeah.
And so like now though, it's like everybody does it. And
well, I mean, how do you
meet
weird. People in person? Like in this day and age. Besides,
out.
like,
yeah,
kids don't go out anymore.
The library.
Yeah, no, like I see kids how old we were back then, and I'm like, you guys are hopeless.
Yeah,
you
it's all online.
I feel so crotchety in that way.
No, but it's cool though. I mean, again, you guys met in high school, so it's a little different. But like, we dated when we were young.
Yeah,
we got married when we were pretty young.
Yeah.
Because me and Grace got married in 2020, October 17th. And so neither of us had that opportunity. We didn't experience like the dating life now, which don't want to. And that's why it's cool though, is because people in my office and stuff are like, they're going through struggles and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have that problem. I don't have to. I'm glad I don't have to.
Yeah.
Because I met Grace.
With the single life, is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad to be off the market.
Yeah.
I can't. That's too much energy.
And that's why everything happens for a reason.
The longer I'm alive, the more grateful I am that like I picked what feels like the right person. Granted, like half of all people get divorced very soon. It might be too early to say, but dear God, like I see some relationships and I'm like, I made a really good decision.
Oh yeah,
15 years ago that is just paying off over and over because there's some crazy people out there.
Yeah, I just feel like if you find the bond with I mean, this is way off topic, but if you find a bond,
you gotta eat that mic, son.
If you find a bond with somebody, it's just like you just know, and you already know the feeling.
Yeah,
it's just different, and like
yeah,
I feel bad for the people who don't have that feeling.
I enjoy judging those people. I'm like, oh, you could have it so good if you didn't hate yourself and pick somebody that.
Yes. No, but when you know, and obviously we both found that person, so it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's weird though. Our timelines are like again very similar.
Lining up.
You guys got married during COVID, so you guys got married either.
Oh yeah.
Was it after us or before?
I
us?
swear we got married before you guys.
You don't know your anniversary?
No, I do. Just give me a sec. April 30th.
So we got 2020.
Yeah.
So we got married before you.
Did you really?
October.
Okay, maybe that date's wrong.
Oh my God.
Or maybe you're. Yeah. No, this will be a consistent thing in this conversation, like in this show, because I don't remember anything. The dementia's bad. I drink so many of those sugar-free water flavors. I swear, like that's where
messes
my
with your memory.
Going. Yeah. And her dad gets them for me constantly, and I love them. But I think it's what's making my mind go, and I'm so young.
Yeah.
I don't want to die not knowing who's around me. Just.
But it's crazy though. So we dated when we were young. We got married when we were young. I always expected to have kids.
I love that you're trying to keep this on rails. I thought that would be me. Sorry.
No, I was just rapping. Like I don't know. It's cool to me. It's like it's a cool experience all around. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people might have our experience, like dating young, getting married, all that stuff, having kids. Because I feel like a lot of people are having kids right now.
Yes.
But at the same time, we're having the same path. So it's
it's nice being able to see like an alternate version of it, just different, slightly different circumstances.
Well, my dad had my sister when he was 27.
Okay.
And so obviously their due date was different, but like being able to talk to him about it, like understanding his perspective.
Yeah, same timeline.
Which I haven't really like asked them a lot of questions. Like we've asked like basic stuff, but I've never like, hey, how did you feel during this time? Like what was your process? Because they got married very quick.
Yeah.
I think they dated for like 6 months. And so then my mom got in a car accident. I don't know the details, but like she got in a car accident and he proposed to her in the hospital. They got married very fast.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is there an episode 6 months from now where we bring on our parents? Yeah. Maybe just the dads?
I think we should.
Know.
I mean, it's a dude podcast. So
maybe there's a week where one of us aren't available and we just bring on the dad
I would love to have a conversation with your dad.
So we're interviewing each other's dads. That would be.
I think we should bring them both on.
I don't think I could handle both of them.
I think we could.
Dude, I see dads, like, something happens with being a dad and I'm scared. It's already happened to me, but, like, I don't think I could handle that much dad energy in one room.
Well,
so I think we put two of us, you and me, over here, and we...
Well, it's the whole, like, when you're a kid, you see your dads as a superhero.
Yeah.
I know people say this all the time, but you see him as a superhero.
Yeah.
But, like, now, which I still look up to my dad. He's awesome.
Yeah.
But, like, now I can see his perspective in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I look at him.
Yeah, you don't appreciate it when you're younger.
But I look at him different, like, okay, he's not invincible. He's going through life right now.
Yeah.
With the same type of mindset that he's not.
Kids raising kids.
Exactly.
Like, that's all
like,
it is.
He's not,
Yeah.
It's not like he's on some different platform. And so it's like, well, you were 27 when you had Taylor.
What did you do?
I'm 27. I'm about to have our daughter.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we've said what our kids are.
Nah, dude.
But I'm having my daughter. And so we're literally having a similar experience.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be this kid's my dad. That makes sense. Like, I see my dad. That's the same way these kids are going to see us.
I think as we talk, I want to... Well, I think I want to talk to my dad about this. Because, yeah, it's weird that, like, I'm about to have a kid and I haven't talked to...
Isn't that weird, though? I mean, I just feel like with your dad, like, I feel like this is I don't know if it's everybody else's story, but I feel like you don't ask, like, those types of questions. Like, hey, how did you feel during this time?
I'm making a note right now, son. I'm going to make a note.
And
Talk
so I
to dads
can't...
about having their first child.
Especially, like, I mean, my dad was military. My mom was government. And so, like, obviously their situation was way different. They were traveling every 4 years. So I was born in Utah. Then we moved to Alabama. And then we moved to Alaska. And then we moved to here.
Yeah.
So we had me and my sister in Utah. So I was born in Utah 2 years after my sister.
You were born in Utah?
Yeah.
What the
So 6 months after I was born, we drove to Alabama. And so this was all during military. So their lives are chaotic.
Yeah,
I mean, they're traveling and stuff. And then we moved back up to Alaska, which is still, we drove to Alaska. And so, like, having kids during that situation. But then my dad was military, so he went to Afghanistan. He went into Iraq. Like, he did all those whenever he went overseas.
Yeah.
So I can't fathom being a father and, like, leaving my kids for that long and like going through what he went through mentally. Yeah. And so, like, seeing that, and I'm like, holy shit, like, our experiences are going to be completely different. But I'm in tune, kind of like when he complains about certain things, like, I don't know, like stuff that we're doing wrong or as kids, like going back and looking at it, I'm like, okay, that's why he was upset, is because now I can see why.
Yeah, he's seeing himself and he's like, you can make this so much easier on yourself.
I just have so much more respect, if that makes any sense, because I feel like me and him are on like a completely similar field now.
Yeah.
Where like he has expectations, I'm going to do my best to hit those expectations. Or if he's upset about something, I don't know, if around the house, I'm like, okay, I can understand that. But it's like, I didn't understand him until, I feel like once the pregnancy hit, I feel like moving back here, me and him have had a 10 times better relationship. And I think because he respects it too, if that makes any sense. Like he understands that we're going through this process.
Yeah. I think I'm appreciating that plight for like families that, like you were talking about earlier, you had to move back, but I think more I'm appreciating like the importance of archetypes or like role models. Oh, because for a lot of people, like the dad isn't necessarily that archetype. Yeah. You know, you might have a dad, but yeah, like finding somebody that you can model after, because we're diving into this with nothing, you know, like besides, you know, our own experiences, but we're going to be at a point in a year from now where our kids start seeing us exactly how we saw our dads.
That's what I was talking about.
And
like,
we're not going to have the answers, you know, like,
and that's what's crazy is like, I feel like as we've grown up and like, as we've learned, we're having kids and stuff, like, I'm starting to think about things in a completely different mindset. Yeah, it's reframing my brain. And I've talked to Bobby, whose house we're in. Like I've had conversations with him. Now he's on his third kid. They actually had him, or their third child. I don't know when she was born. I think it was like a few weeks back. It was like 3 weeks back. And so he's like, "Oh, brother," he said, get ready. You are going to be terrified. He said, but it is the best experience you will ever have.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's hard. You're going to be tired.
Yeah.
It's going to be chaotic. You're not going to have the answers, but it's going to be the best thing you've ever done. And so I'm sitting here just like, whenever I first talked to him about it, like whenever I first told him, he was like, Bobby, or Andy, I'm so excited. Like, I cannot wait for you guys to be back.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be fun, whatever. But now as we're getting closer, like my anxiety levels have like skyrocketed, as in not anxiety about the baby itself, but like Grace. Like I just want everything to go smooth.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
Bundle
like,
of nerves with, you know.
But when he tells me this
giving birth.
stuff, I'm just like, everything's getting more and more real. And so
Yeah.
like we're at the 5-week mark, or however, you know,
Yeah,
quote
we're, like,
unquote
right
5
there.
weeks. And so I told Grace, I was like, I'm so anxious. And she's like, why? And I was like, because the doctor told us that he put his wife's car seat, or the baby's car seat in his wife's car at 34 weeks.
Mm.
She
We
had
got to
her,
be doing it exactly.
well, she had her baby the next day
shit.
on the 35th week.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even have the car seat in there. And
Yeah.
I was like, she was like, well, if I could be induced, would you want me to be induced, or do you want me to go natural? And I'm like, I kind of want you to get induced so we can have an idea of when it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't care either way, but it terrifies me that I'm going to be at work and I have to fly home.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear. And so, but like, that's the cool part though, is like, it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be scary. We have no idea what the is going on,
Nah.
but it's going to be, at the end of it, like this whole 9 months is going to be over in a day, and you're
Yeah.
going to be holding that child.
Yeah.
I'm terrified, but it's going to be
It
so
was
exciting.
really slow on the front end, but like it's
It's
just going
speeding the
quicker and quicker.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's going by crazy quick.
And that's what's funny is my dad, he was like, buddy, he said, get ready because your life is over. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, you ain't going to be going to the gym every day. He said, you're not going to be going golfing all the time.
That's so true.
And I was like, I don't even golf that much. He's like, yeah, but
Well, you're gonna golf less.
yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, because it's coming. And I was like,
Yeah.
whatever. This is months ago.
Yeah.
But now we're at 5 weeks. I'm like, I didn't get to go to Las Vegas. I didn't get
Yeah,
to go
it's
back to
already
Tucson.
gone.
I'm like, all these things that I wouldn't have done anyway. I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't get to go camping. It's like, when do I ever camp?
That was
You know what I'm saying?
That was the wife's experience where like pre-pregnancy, all of her coworkers were like, "Oh man, pregnancy's the best. Like you fall in love with that baby, just kicking you. Like even though it hurts, it's great." But the second she got pregnant, all those other ladies like, "You're gonna hurt everywhere." You know, like the second she was pregnant, everyone's like, "This is gonna suck."
Yeah.
You know, and both are true.
Yeah.
Both are true. It's gonna be great. It's gonna suck. I'm not looking forward to a lack of sleep, but
Yeah.
I have a coworker whose wife said that her most cherished memory of early birth was the 2 a.m. interactions with the kid, which I don't understand, but you know, who knows? Maybe that'll be an awesome experience to be
Well, I
awake
feel
at 2
like
a.m.
you guys are both super tired.
Yeah,
The baby is crying because it needs you,
yeah,
and you probably are like in a hallucinated state, and you're probably just like,
maybe it's like a out of body. Maybe you start tripping at a certain point. It's like, I see how it all comes together.
but that little thing needs you, and so it's like, especially with the mom. I mean, I know the dad's very important, like obviously, but the mom is like the center of that thing's. I mean, that's
they're
keeping
all
it alive for the.
They're all right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. It's probably such an insane connection between
Yeah.
those two.
I saw a video today of a baby cam where a mom had already put the kid to sleep, but she walked into the room and put the baby to sleep. So she came in holding an empty thing, and she puts the baby in, untucks the real baby, and retucks in the fake baby.
Oh gosh,
Because
that's
she's just so
that's kind of creepy.
And the baby is like so pissed because like it's obvious she's done this like 3 times already. Like just let me
Oh,
sleep.
man.
That's what we're
Yeah.
about to do.
I know.
Yeah, it's
I don't
gonna
know
be
what
great.
I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I think that's the awesome part. I don't know, because you have to like. I think my biggest quote unquote fear is my work schedule with the baby.
That's your biggest fear?
Nah,
What about the baby getting diarrhea? Sorry, go.
no. I was just gonna say like the work schedule. Like, am I gonna have enough time?
Yeah.
Because I'm only getting a week. So am I gonna have enough time? Am I gonna be able to?
You get a week for paternity?
It's like paternity
Obviously.
leave. I mean, I can take more time off.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure we'll get into a different episode. But my job requires
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to be there.
100% attention.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like, Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm terrified. But again, Bobby and me have the same career, so it's like if he can do it, why can't I? And there's multiple people in our office who have kids.
Yeah.
So like, if they can make it work, I can make it work.
Yeah, I think that mentality of like, I used to lay sod on the side of the road, just rolled up sheets of grass, and I laid on the side of the highway, and I'd get to work at like 4:30 in the morning, and we'd drive down to the highway that we'd be covering, and I'd look down the side of the road, like super far away, and it was all brown, and I knew that by the end of the day, that whole side of the highway would be green because my future self had done it. And so I think that's what I'm counting on for being a dad, is like, I don't know what I'm doing now, but in 2 years I'm going to be so much better at this.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'm killing it 2 years
That's
from now.
why it's like when this whole pregnancy thing, it's like Bobby was like, she's gonna, like, you guys are both gonna be stressed out. You guys are both gonna be tired. Like, things are gonna get chaotic.
Yeah.
He said, but as soon as the baby is out and you guys are holding her, all of that disappears.
I hope so.
And then they were like, you're gonna forget about the pain she's gonna forget about the pain she went through. Like, she's not gonna remember like that. It's like getting a tattoo. They're like, you get a tattoo and you're like, I'm never doing this shit again. And then 2 months later, you're like, I need another one. And so whenever I was talking to
babies are tattoos.
I was talking to my mom about it, and she was like, you're gonna say that now, but then you're gonna want another one.
How many kids do you guys want? How many kids does she want, and how many kids do you want is the real question.
I think the number is 4.
Yeah? Really?
But
dear God.
But I told her, I was like, let's start with 2
Yeah.
in the next couple of years. Like, we'll wait like 2 years in between, and then we'll go from there.
I think that's my wife's number too, is 3 or 4. And I'm like, let's start with 1 and maybe 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
my parents waited 10 years between between me and my little brother.
Yeah.
And then they had another one.
Yeah.
And then so it's like, do I want to do that? I've talked to my dad. My dad's like, do not wait to have kids.
Really?
Have them young. He said, because when you're like, I understand his point, because when I'm his age,
Yeah.
I'm 27 now. We can have so many experiences together. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because
I am really grateful. Like, my mom was 21 when she had me, I think, which is young.
yeah.
But like, I have so many memories of just going out, like camping, jumping on the trampoline, exploring nature with both my parents, both able-bodied people.
That's
like,
that's the thing.
yeah, and so because they made the choice to do it with less experience, I got to have
A great
better
experience.
childhood, I
Yeah.
think, and that's not how it is for everybody. Not everybody should have kids young, dear God.
Yes.
But yeah, like you have more opportunities, and later in life, like, I feel like the older I get, the more I'm going to be grateful that my dad and mom had me young, because I'm going to get more time with them on that side of things.
Well, that plus
You know
like
what I
your
mean?
kids get to be. So my dad's, I don't even honestly know. I think he's 59, maybe. I don't think he's 60. I think he's 59, maybe.
He's going to be so pissed.
Whatever. Who cares? I think he's only 58 actually.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever 67 is. And so, but my kids get to grow up with him
Yeah.
as somewhat younger,
Yeah.
because most grandparents are obviously, like my grandpa, from my earliest memory of him, I think I don't know how old he was, but I see him as a really old guy. My dad was
Same.
the youngest or my dad was I think he was the youngest of 5 or 6 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, my grandpa was old. He didn't go run around. I mean, my dad right now is on a Harley. Like, he's driving around. He's a young, not young, but
Yeah.
he's a younger
And
grandpa.
that's going to be Winona's grandpa.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the bad
Harley
grandpa.
riding grandpa.
I don't know what he's going by yet.
We should talk about our kids. You're having a girl,
I'm having a girl,
Winnie.
Winona.
You're locked in, Winona?
100% locked in.
I think that's a great name.
I love it.
Winona.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
And actually, the reason we named her that is, one, we couldn't find a name, but we went on a streak. So Grace was like, I want to go watch Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah.
Well, I love Stranger Things 1. That show is phenomenal to me.
Sorry.
And the mom obviously is Winona Ryder,
Yeah.
the main mom. And then, so I've seen it like 4 times through. Grace does not like that show. But then Grace was like, I want to go see the new Beetlejuice 2. And I was like, I haven't even seen the first one. And she was like, I want to see it. So I was like, okay, we'll go.
Yeah.
Took her to see it, and I was like, that movie was phenomenal. Like, I loved it.
That movie is garbage,
That
but
movie
keep going.
was great. And then I was like, I loved it. And then she was like, well, we have to watch the second one or the first one. And so I was like, okay. I didn't like the first one that much.
I love the first. What is happening? Yeah.
And I think that,
All right.
but that's why I think I like the second one is because the first one, if I saw that one first, I probably wouldn't have liked the second one. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, that was great. And she was like, well, we watched those two. Let's watch Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, is she in that too?
Yeah. So I was like, she's the,
Oh my gosh.
she's like the daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that movie was fantastic. And so anyways, that's all doing this.
Your daughter's named after Winona Ryder.
Yeah. So after doing all this, she was like, well, we need names. And so we were just going through a list and I was like, nope. And then she would hate all my names. And I was just like,
that's exactly how we were. Like, I was in love with so many and like she was in love with so many and we equally hated the ones
it's hard.
we were in love with.
I mean,
but with us, it was, we just went through 1,000 names and then she said Hudson. And I'm like, that's the name. And the second she said Hudson, it's like, that's his name. Yeah. His name is Huddy. He's little Huddy. Yeah.
Well, I said Winona, and Grace was like, I do like that one. That's on my list.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then she was like, it's between, I can't remember the three names, honestly. It was like Jane, Winona, and I think it was Lucy or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I remember Lucy.
And I was just like, no hate to anybody who's named Lucy. But I was just like, if my daughter is going into a meeting, I want her to have like a powerful name or like some sort of like.
Don't want her to be Loose Lucy.
Yeah. But I was just like, I don't know. It didn't click.
Sorry, that was. Yeah.
It just didn't.
I'm new at this.
Hey, we're just dudes.
Just guys being dudes.
But I was just like, I really like Winona. And then she was like, okay. And then I would just come home from work and she's like, I really like Winona. And she's like, yeah, we can. I was like, yeah, Winona's a great name. She's like, we can call her Winnie. And I was like, I know.
Winnie's great, dude.
I was like, I know. I was like,
Winnie's
here's the
so
thing.
Great.
I was like, but Bobby's daughter's name is Win. And they call her Winnie.
So that never bothers me because, like...
No, but I was like, we have to ask him.
Yeah, really?
And so I called Bobby and I was like, all right, Bobby, we found a name. I literally was like, but I need your permission.
Oh.
And he was like, what are you going to call her? And I was like, Winona. I was like, but obviously we're going to call her Winnie. And he was like, I love it, dude. Because that's his first daughter's name.
Winona.
Yeah. No, it's Winnie. Or Win.
That's it. That's not the short version.
W-Y-N.
Oh, interesting.
I think. I could be, sorry,
Win.
Bobby, for completely
sorry, Bobby.
botching that. But
shout out to Bobby.
Yeah, but I love Bobby. And so he was like, I am honored. I don't care. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. He's like, I can't wait to meet her. I was like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, then after that, like it started just taking off. And so my parents have we got a bunch of Winnie the Pooh books.
Oh, okay. All right. You got corresponding stuffed animals.
Plus my mom has Winnie the Pooh on her tattooed on her back.
Does she really?
It's like a Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, something on her
back.
No,
Eeyore?
Eeyore on
gotta
the
have
side.
that Eeyore.
Yeah, Eeyore too.
Oh man, my grandpa sounded exactly like Eeyore. Hi, Austin.
Yeah, yeah, but the name was hard.
Yeah,
but I kept telling her, she was like, we can't find something, and I'm like, we have time. We have 9 months. I was like, I am not stressed about that.
I'm of the belief that like you shouldn't name the kid till they can decide their own name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So like 9 months, like whatever the first word is, that's their name.
I don't think I was named because my mom was gonna call me Riley.
Wait, as a dude?
Yeah. And so
there are Rileys out there, but come on.
I was just like, okay. I was like, okay. And so my mom was like, I was gonna call you Riley, and then you were born, and I looked at you, and I was like, that's not your name. And so she was like,
he's not a Riley.
She was like, we were in the hospital she had a C-section, so she had to stay longer. So she said I was nameless for, I think, almost a week.
Oh,
And so
I think that's a really good way to go about it. If I wasn't totally in love with Hudson and committed, I would do that exactly.
I told Grace the same thing. I was like, Grace, I'm sorry. I'm going to need to see your face.
Yeah.
But then, like, now looking back, I'm like, you can't really do that because they're going to look like aliens when they're first born.
Oh, yeah. All babies are ugly when they're first born. Everybody's like, oh,
from what I've seen, I haven't experienced it, but from what I've seen. And
Yeah.
so that's why I'm like, okay, let's just wait and see. And then she was like, no, I like Winona. So I was like, honestly, it's going to stick.
Yeah.
Plus the 3D ultrasound, so I get a good idea of what she's going to look like.
That was crazy. Did your parents go with y'all?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was just you guys?
Well, we were in Tucson for the most part.
Oh,
but
that's
then
right.
the one recently, no. It's just us.
Yeah.
I don't think they
we got to go with both sets of parents, and it was fun.
Well, Grace's mom went to, I think, one ultrasound,
Mm-hmm.
and her sister went to one, but I don't think the 3D ones. No, because I've been to all the 3D ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did so Grace sent me a picture of a 3D one. it was supposed to be just a normal ultrasound, but they just switched to 3D and said we could take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And so like it wasn't an official one, but the ones that we've gone to have all been like for the 3D. If that makes sense. Like the lady just turned it on for Grace and was like switching through it, but yeah.
Yeah, my parents and her parents were there, and they remember how we looked as little babies, and so they're pointing out like, oh, he's got Austin's lips, and so that was kind of fun because like it's just a baby.
Yeah, I'm just like, I think it's cute.
yeah.
That's Grace's.
I want
biggest
to
thing.
list the names of this podcast that didn't make it. So first of all, the name of this podcast is Dude, We're Dads.
Dude, we are dads.
I think that's great because like we don't know what we're doing. We're just two dudes.
No idea.
And we're rising
To
the occasion. That's what we're doing. And so we're dudes becoming dads. Dude, we're dads.
I mean, our goal is to hopefully other dads hear this that are new
we're going to inspire them.
and inspire them, or maybe older dads like my dad
Yeah.
can look at this and laugh at us and make fun of us.
Yeah. Like,
because they also went through the experience.
Either way, people are having a good time. You're either learning or laughing at us.
Or dads who don't have kids yet can look at it and say, okay, I don't want one.
I'm not ready. Yeah. Maybe our sole purpose is to just ward off potential dads.
Yeah. Just know, from what I've been told, is you're never going to be ready.
Nah. So you may as well. All right. So here are the failed titles. I started with Diaper Duty, which is just poor craftsmanship. Fatherhood Unfiltered was good. I don't know if you pitched that one. I think you liked that one.
I like that one. I didn't pitch any of them.
Yeah, Fatherhood Unfiltered is good, but it sounds like we're just going to be raunchy, which I kind of have been.
That sounds more like a
this
venting
episode.
session.
Yeah, which I fully intend to talk about my child on this podcast, but that's not the priority. Dad life, that's way too generic. Becoming dad, that sounds like we're trying to teach somebody something, which I don't want to do. Like if somebody learns something from this, great, but like we're fools.
Are we dads yet?
That's a very political question. Let's be dads. That's fun, but it also sounds like maybe our dynamic is a little less platonic.
What do we have
Like
with daddy?
Oh, everyday daddy.
Yeah.
Daily daddy.
Nah.
Daily daddy's that's a little out
I'm
there.
not a fan of the daddy.
My favorite one that didn't make it was Never Ready podcast.
Yeah, but that's not really referring to like babies or dads.
No,
you
it's
know?
the advice that every dad gives a new dad is like
Oh.
you'll never be ready.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty, but I think Dude, We're Dads fits us better.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Because
so
we're still young. I mean, 27.
we're so young. You're not old till you're 30. That's the cutoff.
Yeah.
If you're 31, you're ancient.
Yeah, you're ancient.
My coworkers hate it when I say that.
Yeah, mine too.
I was like, I feel so old. And then my like 45-year-old coworker was like, "F you, Austin. You don't f you." Yeah.
I know. I used to be called young at work when I was like 22.
Young or?
No, I used to be called young at work
Oh.
when
Yeah.
I was 22. And
Yeah,
I was
I'm
like,
still the young dude at work. Still.
See, I'm
to this
not.
day. Yeah.
Now we obviously
Got all
have new
these
people coming in.
youngins.
And so it's like, I'm getting old, man. Because like
Are
after,
you feeling it yet?
do I feel old?
Yeah. In your bones?
No.
I've felt old in
Maybe
my
with
bones.
injuries, yes. With like I have shoulder pain.
Yeah, it takes longer.
My elbow hurts right now. Like my knees hurt. So I don't feel old, but like stuff's hurting me that I'm like.
But
But it's also because of the gym though too. So it's like.
I've had bad knees since I was like 12. You remember?
Yeah, oh yeah, your legs
You
used
remember?
to lock out.
My knees
Yeah.
used to pop out. You pants me that one time like a. But yeah, like I felt old forever. So like this just feels normal to me. It's just.
See,
I'm ancient.
I think
It's
that's the
fine.
thing though, is like you never truly feel old.
I hope so, but I doubt it.
I saw like a scene on Instagram of this. I can't remember. I don't know what the movie is
Yeah.
at all. It was just a random Instagram
cares?
reel of a movie, and this old guy was like looking at this. It looked like a 30. I don't know if it was his son. I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
Again, he goes, "I'm 67 years old. I look at myself in the mirror and I still see the 19-year-old."
Oh yeah,
And he said, "But
that's an ugly
He
19-year-old
said,
though.
"But I still feel like I never grew up."
I can see that in the brain. I guess. But also, like, I'm really thankful for aging because my brain is just maturing on its own. Like, I was an immature little dude up until like 2 years ago. And then suddenly my brain was like, all right, it's time to be a responsible member
weird?
of society.
That's like the same way I felt.
I didn't do anything.
I know.
Like, I'm so grateful because, like, I was not ready to be a father or a husband or nothing.
There's something that just switched. And
It's 25. Like, I think that's when your brain finishes its for most people. I think it's 25. Maybe
I
I'm
think
wrong.
mine happened whenever I got the promotion to go to Tucson.
I was 13 years old.
Well, no, it's just like there's a mindset switch where you're just like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to act.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that stuff before, it's like, I don't know, I'm wayward. I don't know what to do. And then suddenly it's like, okay.
Well, it's like in Tucson, for instance, like, get promoted, move to Tucson to start the office. And then we're out there. We don't have any family to help us.
Yeah.
So Grace gets a flat tire. I'm like, I can't be like, hey, Dad, can you help us out?
It's on you, son.
It's just like I had to go drive and
you
help
gotta
her.
be a man.
Grace's, her car started leaking oil. We had to go take it to the shop and get it fixed. My tire pops too. I had to change it. I got stuck in a parking lot. I had to go buy a part. Somehow,
that's the beauty of being back, though, son. Now your dad can do it. It's
I know,
great.
but it was just like that little shift is like growing up.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, living on your own, like way far away, is growing up. I don't know. Something switched though,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just gonna be like, weird to say, but there are times where I feel superior to people who are like similar in our age and that are still. Like,
Oh yeah, their brains haven't.
you know what I'm talking
and
about?
they might never will.
Like I guess the quote unquote partiers, the people who are irresponsible, but it's like I feel superior to them.
I don't even have a kid yet, and I do have that superiority of like, I'm a father. What are you doing? You know, like,
Got that dad strength coming in. I can't wait for the dad strength.
Yeah,
it's true.
I'm gonna be so jacked when my wife gives birth. Oh man, the weight's just gonna come off me.
Grace was like telling me about so we were in the class and they're like, whenever the class we went to, the lady was like, hey, the biggest thing is skin to skin for the first hour. She said you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But we recommend you do at least 1 hour.
Bonding thing.
And so obviously I've seen videos and pictures of dads doing it too. It's for the dad as well. So it goes to the mom first, obviously, then the dad. And so Grace is like, how are you going to feel when you have to take your shirt off? And all these nurses hold
at
the
the
baby.
hospital.
I was like, I can't wait. I was like, I've been cutting. I'm ready to go.
This
I'm
is
gonna
for
get
the nurses.
shredded.
Only.
I'm going to get shredded
Check
for
me
this.
out. You're all oiled and like tanned, like like bodybuilders.
My baby is going to know me as a machine.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. I meant to circle back to this. I lost track. I went out to lunch with Bobby, and I was like, Bobby, I'm having a daughter. I was like, I'm already like thinking of scenarios in my head of like somebody hurting her, somebody disrespecting her.
Could not have had a daughter first.
That's my point. And so he has a daughter. I'm like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Like, what have you done?
Yeah.
And he was like, he said, I'm just going to let you know it's completely normal. He said, anytime I go in somewhere with her, he said, I scan the room. He said, and mentally, I have all these check boxes that I'm like thinking, or these things I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And he was like, get ready, because it's not the same with the boy. With the girl, you're going to be on high alert all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest. Like, a lot of parents are like, oh, whatever I have, it doesn't matter the gender. I'll be happy with a boy or a girl. That is not how I was. That is
Yes.
I wanted a girl so bad. And I am so grateful I didn't have one. First, ideally, I'd have a girl at some point, but I would have been a wreck. I'm a paranoid person in the first place, but oh man, a little boy, he's going to get beat up. He's going to get some scars on his face. It's fine, you know? Maybe he dies, but what in the world? But that's the mentality is like a boy can take a beating. Like, I don't even have a daughter, and that notion
Scary.
just it makes me protective and angry and all that.
No, legit.
So
I'm like,
I salute you. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know if it gave me a boost of testosterone, but I feel the difference. It's weird. And so I talked to Bobby about it, and he was like, me and my daughter, we went to go get ice cream. He said, and man, he was like, we had the best time, but mentally, all I was thinking about was that sketchy looking dude by the front door. And he said I was preparing for anything he was about to do. High
alert all the time.
I was like, he's like, get used to it, because that's going to happen everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It would be fun if it wasn't like that, but you know.
Nah, that girl's gonna be. That's gonna be my girl.
Yeah. My baby girl.
No, have to protect her.
But
And I have so much respect for Grace's dad because he has 4 girls and 1 boy.
That's wild.
Let me make sure I get that right.
Boy's the
Hang
youngest,
on.
right?
No, he has Grace. Yeah, 5 girls.
5 girls?
5 girls, 1 boy.
Is the boy the youngest?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So
I can't imagine what his mindset is like.
Wow.
A lot of respect.
But you know, at the end of the day, no matter how hard it is, dude,
We're dads.
we're dads. Hey.
We'll keep on walking down the boulevard. Got no directions, we've been lost from the start. It's such a strange world we're